Welcome to RPG Capper, the channel where we cap RPGs of various design. Coming to you live from the soda dimension where the bottle caps live and the CO2 bubbles never stop rising. Today we are resuming Phantasy Star for the Sega Master System, with the level cap being 30, and our current status: level 24 for Alice, level 24 for MYAU, level 25 for ODIN, and level 23 for Noah. So now let us resume our adventure. Just gonna adjust volume a bit. Okay, so we last left off. 24 for Alice, 24 for MYAU, 25 for ODIN, and 23 for Noah. Good. We had procured a couple new pieces of equipment, namely a Laconium shield, which we have given to Alice. And Laconium armor that we have given to ODIN. Also, we have an arrow prism. Alice raises a prism towards the sky. Nothing happens, however. So yeah, anyway, so we collected a shield, a suit of armor made of Laconia, and an arrow prism. So these will come in handy as we progress a little bit further in our adventure, but now we need to go check out a few more dungeons in the meantime. Namely the Corona Tower, which we haven't entered yet. And we haven't officially gone through any of the major tower dungeons, so those dungeons are in a league in of themselves. Much different from your standard deep dark cave crawls. And the enemies there are just a wee bit more tougher. But we are not going to be leaving Desirous until all of our objectives are met, which means we do need to finish the Corona Tower, and we still need to collect the Larima nut from the Larima tree. So anyways, let's see what items we have. We have ourselves a couple cans of cola, we have a burger, another burger, and a transer just in case. Okay. I'm actually going to purchase one more transer for the road just in case. If we run out, if Alice runs low on MP. I think this is the Ice Digger shop, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, this is the shop we needed. That'll do. We sold off a lot of crap last time, so we have a good fat purse. But let's just see if we can raise a few more levels today. $20 points. Another 36 macetas. Okay, now we got some blue raspberry jello to deal with. Alright. Thankfully, slimes are slow creatures, so it's easy to dodge them. 30 points. 114 macetas. Onwards. You know what, I'm gonna check to see if I can break some of the ice around here. No. Not equip. Use. What am I doing? Okay, ice is too solid over here. Okay, the ice around here is not breakable, so we're disembarking. Okay, couple of undead. $42 points. 118 Mesetas. There's 63 points. 174 Mesetas and a flash. Okay, let's see if we can break some ice around here. Even when we're in the Ice Digger, we still have counters, just like in the Hovercraft and in the Land Rover. Okay. 63 points. 177 Mesetas. Oh, we can enter the cave with our Ice Digger. Okay, let's get back into our Ice Digger and keep trying to see if we can break through the ice. $44 points. 174 Mesetas. No, because I don't want to collect the flash that's in there. I have a lot of money already. So I don't need to... If it just has standard Mesetas, then fine, but... But I don't want to have to keep collecting flashes and then having to drop them afterwards. $44 points. 174 Mercedes. No good, ice is too thick over here. Points. Ignoring the chest. Ah, found one. Okay, we found ourselves a marauder. Let's just tie this guy up. Because his lightning attack... Speak of the devil. I don't see what good that magic wall is now that we got attacked by lightning. That does such a big amount of damage, jeez. 30 points from him. $173 Mercedes for that trouble. Yep, and the ice... I mean, the glaciers just reformed. But anyways, let's just see where I can go with this. Anything else over here? Oh, okay, I think this just leads me back to the Arrow Prison Cave. $63 points. Nope, because I don't want to collect the flash. Okay, let's check over here. $21 points. 59 Mercedes. Okay, Wyvern's bound. Not anymore, but he's dead, so it doesn't matter. 26 points. 125 Mercedes. Okay, we have another Wyvern in the exact same spot. And it's not effective. And I lost 4 MP for nothing. $26 points. 125 Mercedes. Okay, a magic man. Fails to tap me with his cane. Fails to tap me with his cane again. $32 points. 187 Mercedes. Okay, let's attack the horseman. $30 points. 140 Mercedes. Oh, this one had a flash. Okay, next time I gotta learn to ignore the chest when it drops it. Okay, I'm taking a gamble here. $30 points. 173 Mercedes. Okay, let's heal up our party members now. Okay, that's old news. $60 points from that one. No, because I don't want to collect another flash. Let's just at least drop the one that we collected earlier. $60 points. Not collecting the chest because I don't want to get another flash. $36 points. 120 Minnesotas. Okay, we have another magic man to deal with. Ouch. And you can hit off all of my party members with that lightning like the Marauder. $32 points. 187 Macetas. $32 points. 187 Macetas. Okay, now we got a woolly mammoth to deal with. $40 points. 125 Macetas. $63 points. $32 points. 187 Macetas. $32 points. 187 Macetas. Okay, and it looks like that's the loss. So all we were able to find for the Ice Digger was one cave that had the Arrow Prism. So, I will then say, let's just go back to town to recover for a bit. Save up, and, get back into the frozen plain. Okay, so let's save up. Five points. 19 Mercedes. Points. 136 Mercedes. Points. 136 Mercedes. Points. 95 Mercedes. Points. And no one goes up a level. 114 Mercedes. Points. 118 Mercedes. Points. Nope. Wait, I said no! 230 Mercedes in a flash. Alright, I guess I have to drop this. Okay, now let's take the next... Oh, hi, Queen Veronica. Good to see you. How's it going? Thanks for joining me in the Soda Mansion. As you can see, we're in the middle of Phantasy Star for the Master System, just exploring the frozen landscape. Doing well, how are you? Pretty good myself. It's just been but it has been quite a hectic, week for me. I mean, I had to deal with Father's Day, so I had to go visit my dad. And then I mean, by visiting him on Father's Day, I mean, we just had to okay, we were pretty much just had a big dinner planned. I mean, he bought some ribs that we had to cook. I mean, when I'm at his house, I have to do a lot of cooking. Then after that, there was just a matter of just getting the table set up for all stuff. So like, you had barbecue ribs, you had some boiled potatoes, a vegetable platter, and some rum to drink. Then I also was talking with my sister and her husband, in California, and apparently her husband wants us to visit them for the Christmas holiday. So I'm not 100% certain if we're going to be able to go, but it kind of depends on how our finances will be this coming. Well, this coming holiday season. I mean, I wouldn't mind checking out Long Beach again. I mean, last time I visited them was during COVID, and that was basically for my sister's wedding, and there was a lot of places that were closed off at the time, but now that everything's back open, I want to have the chance to see more of the sights and sounds of Long Beach. Anything interesting happened with you lately, Veronica? 75 points. 230 for Mercedes. I think I might have went the wrong way. I mean, that's one other thing that we had to do during the course of the week. I also got to see a doctor pretty soon. So the new clinic in my neck of the woods is accepting new patients, so I need to capitalize on the opportunity. Ooh, now advanced level. Okay. 230 for Mercedes. I'm back out here again. Oh, for 6. Okay. Queen Veronica, if you're still here, have you ever been to Long Beach? In California, that is. 44 points. 174 Mercedes. No, I think I may have made a boo-boo. I think there's another... there's another cave I gotta go through. Not too much, no, but I used to live in San Francisco. Oh, cool. I've never been to San Francisco myself. Maybe the next time I actually visit my sister in California, perhaps I could. They could see about taking me to San Fran and see what all the sights and sounds are. Okay, I was supposed to be over here, and I heard of mammoths. Yeah, so that's just one other thing, because during COVID, when my sister was getting married, we couldn't really see all the sights and sounds of California, but there were some good places I was still able to have access to, even though there was a lot of restrictions. People had to wear masks at the time. I was able to check out the Mission Inn, where the wedding reception took place. Other places included, let's take a look. It's not just Long Beach, but there's all sorts of other different beach locales along the west coast. Okay, one beach's name now officially escapes me. But all I know is that there was a nice restaurant in that area. Oh no, Huntington Beach, that's the name. Jeez, how did I forget that? But anyways, I was in Huntington Beach at the time, had a chance to check out their famous boardwalk over there. A lot of street corners got some souvenirs, including like a t-shirt, some like a keychain. I had a chance to eat at a really nice restaurant, which was by the seaside and was torchlit during the evenings. 120 experience points. That's pretty far from Long Beach. Oh yeah, well, 375 misses. Oh yeah. But the thing is, my sister's husband was willing to make the trek all the way out to Huntington Beach, because after all, we were guests and we wanted to be treated accordingly as well, while being while just staying with them during their wedding. Do I want to take on 5 mammoths? You know what, I don't really feel like fighting 5 mammoths right now. Okay, there is a tower I gotta check here. It's a really nice city, yeah. I have pictures from my time over there. I also remember there was this really nice ice cream shop that we stopped at. Speaking of stops, here's the Corona Tower where we're supposed to go in. Okay, so with this tower, so this is like the first of the tower dungeons that we're going to be exploring, but for this, we're going to need to bring up our map. So, first, oh, hang on a minute. First, I'm just going to bring up Phantasy Star Cave. Here we go. And now I'm just going to take a quick look at the map for this particular dungeon. Here it is, Corona Tower. Okay, so the Corona Tower here is 4 floors. The first floor is pretty much shaped like a giant... It's just basically shaped like like a window pane or a door. There's information booths at the 3 ends, and a staircase that leads to floor 2, but there's a lot of trap floors on the 2nd floor. Okay, so let's just at least check out all the information rooms before we bother with the 2nd floor. Yeah, so far this is the only Phantasy store I beat. Okay. Well, we're getting close to the end of this particular game. The only thing that really needs to be done is completing this dungeon. I also need to complete... I gotta find the Altiplano Plateau somewhere so I can collect the Lerma Nut that MYAU is gonna need to fly up to Lassek's Fortress. But we're also gonna have to go back to Palma to explore a couple more tower dungeons. 65 points. Okay, cool. We had a good payout. So it's the only... when was the last time you played this particular Phantasy Star? Played Phantasy Star 1 here, Queen? $30 points. What have you come for? Do you intend some mischief? Was this the same thing that what they're telling me at Fort Garon? A while ago, maybe a year. Huh, okay. There's some... I've played this game before, but it's been a while since it was last beaten as well. Maybe perhaps like a couple years back, but... Oh, okay, that goes to the 2nd floor. I don't want to go there just about yet. And apparently there's no secret rooms in here. I do want to play the other Phantasy Stars at some point. Phantasy Star 2, I'm not sure when I'm going to get started with. Because I still have a major backlog of other RPGs I'm going to go through. Plus, there's some fan requests I have to redeem as well. I mean, there's Final Fantasy Renaissance that one of my friends wants me to play, and there's also Tales of Eternia. But any more requests that are going to be taken will have to be done through a point redemption. I'm not sure how fast the points are building up on this channel for those who are followed. So for now, I'm gonna have to just keep the point redemptions within the 6 figures, because as soon as those points are redeemed, that particular RPG has to go in my queue to be played. And after my initial lineup of RPGs are cleared, which are just high turnover, quick cap and clear RPGs, then I have to do fan requests. And I only go back and play the RPG that I want once the fan requests are exhausted. Anyways, I have to... Okay, Escaper. Okay, that's a good one. So anything else, is there any other interesting things you just want to share today while we play the game? Or do you just want to, like, talk some video game stuff? Because I do have a lot of... I mean, I could still chat up a few bits and pieces about various video games that I've played throughout the years. Or I can also talk about what kind of upcoming schedule I'm going to have a little bit later. Okay, let's see what's in here. Lasik lives in fear of the crystal possessed by the soothsayer named Dalmor. There's something special about it, without a doubt. Okay, there is supposed to be a crystal that is supposed to help draw away magic, from what I heard. Okay, so let me just take this. Do you know Sarzak? Yes, I do. I mean, he and I are good buddies. I not only follow his channel, he follows mine. He comes in here once in a blue moon, though. Or he might come in here today, who knows? I mean, he has a stream coming up later today, and I just want to, if possible, I might just, once I'm done this stream, I could probably just raid into his starting stream. If possible, that is. We'll see how much we can get done today. So Sarzak, no, I go way back. I mean, I had another channel on Twitch a couple years ago, which no longer exists, sadly enough, because I kind of fucked around and find out with. I pretty much played FAFO with a certain individual by openly criticizing him on my old channel, and I have not been able, and unfortunately he threatened me with legal action, so I had to kill off the old channel. Now I'm pretty much restructuring under a new, under a new image here, new channel, new image. Oh, hi Mohammed Jarayev, good to have you here. Haven't beaten any of the PS games, and I just saw myself out the door. Okay. I don't want to leave this tower dungeon just yet, because we gotta collect... I believe the torch is in here, and I have to collect it. How are you doing today? You haven't beaten any of the PS games. Have you at least played any of them, that is? He isn't streaming again until Monday D&D weekend. Oh, okay. I guess I haven't checked his Discord lately. 30 points. Okay, I don't need to collect from here. I think I might be going around in circles if I'm not mistaken, but... Well, at least I know where the second floor is. Also, in other news, there's an anime convention happening in 3 weeks. And I'm going to be helping run a table at the convention along with my other fellow congoers. Just help cross-promote on their science fiction convention that's also being held in this city every year. And, you try playing through some of them. Okay, you actually played through, this one, I presume, and some other, and, maybe 2, 3, and 4? Or is there still one you haven't tried out? Red Dragon, okay, I have a Red Dragon in here. So, so pretty much the goal is to get everyone here in this game up to level 30, which is the cap. And we're already in the mid-20s range, so we're getting close to that goal. And just to go let you know that, capping RPGs is a discipline and a hobby of mine. It's just something I like to do, and I just want to make it the theme of this channel. 65 points. 193 Mesetas. You beat 1 and played a little of 2. I haven't even touched 2. Okay, so I've already been in here. Let's get everyone healed up quickly. Yeah, because we took a pretty big beating in here so far. Just gonna have Alice do a quick heal. There we go, now we're good to go. I think I've tried a bit of them, though the naming conventions for the series is a lot to be desired for me. Okay. I mean, naming conventions tend to be pretty strange in terms of the localization process. Okay, I think we're going around in circles at this point. Yeah, okay, so now we just have to go to this second floor. We're pretty much done our duty over here. I've heard number 2 is a massive grind fest. And I know for a fact that there are going to be some RPGs that'll be played that will be massive grind fest. But you know what, I'm prepared to do that. I do have the discipline to handle the grind. Because I grew up with the Dragon Warrior and Quest, yes. Interestingly enough, the only Dragon Warrior / Quest game I've ever played in my life was the first Dragon Warrior for Nintendo. I haven't even touched numbers 2 through 4 on the NES, or even 5 and 6 on the SNES, or any of the other... ooh, Alice went up a level. And, the one on PS1, number 8 on PS2... or even the MMO number 10. I believe number 10's an MMO. But all the other Dragon Quest games just get better and better as they progress. Okay, anyways, we're on the second floor, so let's check our map. Okay, so we cleared, so floor number 1's clear, let's go to number 2. Okay, there was also a treasure chest that was not indicated on the first floor here, but anyway, but that doesn't matter anymore. Second floor. Okay, we get off, there's a fork that goes west and east. West leads to a trap hole, so we're not gonna worry. Okay, and, so there's lots of trap holes in here that'll take me down to the first floor, so we have to be very careful. So, there's 3 chests here. There's an empty, there's a 500 meseta, and a burger, and a freeze-dried burger in one of the chests. And, the third floor, and, yeah, and, oh, wait, hold on, I spoke too soon. I get off on the center stairway, and it leads to a fork that leads south, east, and west. If I go straight up ahead, there's a pit trap, so I'd have to take either of the ones to the west or east. Okay, first south, then west, and then east. Okay, let's just do it a little bit at a time. I've played most of the DQ games we have released in the West, as well as in a few fan translations. Yes, I will also want to, at some point, try out the SNES remakes of Dragon Quests 1 through 4. Because they actually did, those look pretty nice. But first things first, I want to get through Dragon Warriors, all the Dragon Warriors on the NES, then switch over to the SNES versions, and then, maybe try the Game Boy versions, and then after, because there's like remakes of Dragon Warriors 1 through 3 on the Game Boy, plus there's a Pokemon-like on Game Boy called Dragon Warrior Monsters, and I think there's 2 games for that. Yeah, because there's all sorts of other I mean, there's a lot of Dragon Quest games at this point in the series. Sadly, we may not have Akira no, not may. We don't have Akira Toriyama back to do the artwork, because I think Dragon Quest XII was his very last contribution to the Dragon Quest series. And now that he's passed, they're gonna have to find another artist that hopefully can emulate his style properly. We'll see. Okay, let me see. So I have to... Okay, so let's go right here. So where do we go from north? Let's check the compass. Okay, east. Okay, this way. I've beaten 1 and 2 for GBC. I've heard 1 and 2 for GBC are more lenient than the NES versions because they offer you more experience points, and which means less grinding. And I got blown up. Okay. All right. So let's check the look at the compass because we're gonna need to make use of the compass a lot more often in here. Facing north. Okay. So now I need to use MYAU to check for a trap hole. Ah, there. Okay, disarm the trap so the way is clear to the chest. Nope, we're gonna have to have MYAU investigate this. No trap. 500 Macetas, cool. Nothing over here. Sometimes dead ends could have extra secrets that may not be listed on any major site, so I always have this habit of searching the dead end or the space one square away from the dead end. It's a habit, but it's just something I do. Okay, let's go this way. Okay, so I think I have to use MYAU's trap ability to disarm the trap. There we go. And now the way is clear. And we have some sphinxes. There's a third person that came in here. Hello to the other person that just came in. You're in RPG Capper, where we cap RPGs of various design. Come to you live in the soul dimension where the CO2 bubbles never stop rising. Okay, 63 points. I'm not collecting the money because I don't want to be riddled with a flash. Nope, we're gonna have MYAU investigate this. Disarmed. Empty. Gotta be careful with MYAU's magic because we don't have we don't have any ethers in this game which can replenish your MP. We'd have to go back to we'd have to go to a Red Cross hospital to heal up. Okay, that's 2 chests investigated, so I'm gonna take a look at the map again. Well, let's just bring this back up here. Okay, there's 500 Macetas and an empty chest. Okay, there's a freeze-dried burger located in the southeast corner, so that's where we're gonna need to go now. Because I want to get a burger, then we gotta go upstairs. Alright, back to the game we go. Okay, first okay, that's north. Wait. I think I might have... let's have MYAU do a trap check. No. Okay, that's just peachy. That was what I was trying to avoid this whole time. Can't wait until I start doing some Shadowrun streams. Oh, Shadowrun is awesome. Last Shadowrun session I've had was back in 2011. And it was a very interesting campaign. I mean, let me see how much I can remember from that campaign. Let's see, so I was this new recruit to a band of Shadowrunners, and I came in this really tricked out car. But the other Shadowrunners are about as gritty as old sandpaper. So when they actually saw my car, I mean, they decided to dismantle it and keep the pieces as insurance. And they just gave me this whole, well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, motherfucker. then, as part of the initiation, well, that was, and also as part of the initiation, I was supposed to be serving as the scout for my Shadowrun gang, as we were supposed to go to this other junkyard to retrieve some. Let me see. I believe that we were supposed to retrieve a particular cell engine that's supposed to help bolster. Bolster some guns or something. Wait. Given I'm thinking more of the console computer, based on So, okay. Not the tabletop, but the actual video game adaptations. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, so we got off over here. So, okay, I need to do this. Let's take a look at the compass. Facing east. Okay, we're gonna go east. Mercedes. Okay, I think we're facing... Okay, there's a doorway, so I want to take another look at the map here. Yeah, so there's a trap hole up ahead, and I need to disable that trap hole. Okay, let's give it a go. First, let's get MYAU's trap ability. Okay, let me take another look at that map. It doesn't show anything about a door on the eastern side of the second floor. So this map's a little dubious, but I think that, I do believe that the treasures that are listed are accurate, though. Oh well, back up we go. Thankfully, we're dealing with some more simpler enemies on the first floor. 30 points. And I don't open a chest that has a flash in it because it's a pain in the ass to have to dispose of flashes when you collect them. But I'm not unaware of this setting, to have to read some of the source books for Shadowrun before. Due to having to read... Okay, I've only glanced over a few Shadowrun books. You have to really, if you really want to get into Shadowrun full stop, I mean, you're gonna have to devote a lot of time to sit and study those books, man. I mean, there's a lot to cover, and I mean a lot. I mean, you gotta know the dice mechanics, you gotta really just know the character creation, the environments, the specific attributes of each character you decide you want to play. I mean, and how the dice mechanics relate to those attributes. And that's just putting it general. But I can also go back to my story about the Shadowrun tabletop RPG session that I've had back in 2011. Now the details are a little bit sketchy because it's vague and sketchy because again, this was back in 2011. And this was actually at a board game convention here in Winnipeg. I mean, if you guys want to hear more of how the campaign turned out, just let me know. $65 points. 125 Mercedes. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, cool. Alright, so anyways, getting back to my campaign story. So, as a new recruit to this band of gritty Shadowrunners, they put me ahead as a scout, because it's kind of an initiation. Well, not initiation, I was already with the Shadowrunners. They just basically, it was just my first test as a member of the Shadowrun, of our little Shadowrun group. So again, we were supposed to go to this junkyard to get this kind of cell engine for this kind of hot rod of sorts, but apparently it's worth a lot of money. So when we were going to the junkyard, let me just go. Oh crap! All right, back upstairs we go. I read them a few times. At the time, it was a book that belonged to my cousin. Oh, okay. What edition was it, by any chance, if you don't mind me asking? And while you're answering that question, I'm just gonna get back to my story. So anyway, we pretty much go to the junkyard, okay, I think it was ODIN that advanced that level. I just didn't catch that in time, because I was busy looking at the chat window. Okay. Well, somebody leveled up. Anyways, we were in the junkyard, just before we were out to enter the junkyard, this big limo pulls up, and a couple of enforcer agents just engaged us in battle. So everyone had to roll to deal with the battle, and I'm assuming about first or second for early 1990s. Oh, okay, cool. So, I was pretty much given this... I think I was given a laser pistol and some spiked gloves to fight with. So, anyways, I've had one of my Shadowrunners apparently was able to put together a Molotov cocktail and throw it inside the car that these enforcers were shooting out of. And apparently went off and just blew them to chunky salsa. So, at the time, I wasn't even aware of the term... I wasn't aware of the slang term chunky salsa in Shadowrun, because I've never played Shadowrun before, as a tabletop or as a video game. So I was like, ooh, chunky salsa! And then I was just going inside the car to check for some, because I thought everyone wanted to take a lunch break and just eat some nachos with chunky salsa. But apparently, and then all of them, and the other guys in the group were like, dude, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, hey, it's chunky salsa. I was like, bro, that's just the guy's intestines and innards littered all over the car seat. Why the fuck do you want that? And I was like, oh. So I pretty much had to, so my character just had to scrape off all the viscera from his arms and just rejoin the group just so we can enter the junkyard and pretend that whole incident never happened. So, anyways, continuing on with the campaign. Okay, currently facing something. Okay, I'm gonna take another look at the map because I'm still not understanding why it's like this. Okay, if I go south, it just loops around. I just don't... Okay, let me try going west this time around. I'll get back to my story, I just need to consult the compass. Okay, good. I think I gotta go this way, and I don't think there's a... Yeah, so anyway, after the whole chunky salsa incident, we entered the junkyard. 23 points. And, everything, the coast is clear, there wasn't any much... What the fuck, dude? There was supposed to at least be one tile, I was supposed to be one tile away from entering the trap hole. Okay, anyways, let's get back to my story here. We entered a junkyard. The coast is clear. There's a lot of plastic wrap covering all the cars that are in there, and we had to look. And again, we had to look for this cell charge, like this power cell for this big limo that we needed. I mean, I don't even remember the specific car that it was supposed to be used for. So we looked around, and apparently then the foreman of the junkyard notices us. But apparently one of the members of our Shadowrun group knows the foreman personally. So he decides to give him an ultimatum that as long as he lets us rummage through the junkyard, we won't blow his head off and turn him into chunky salsa. Sounds like a fair deal. Wait, I gotta dispose this dragon. Okay, 65 points. So, anyways, one of our guys held the foreman at gunpoint, while the rest of us were just sifting through the junkyard. And, while we were looking for the power cell, all of a sudden, a couple of airships enter the junkyard. And then they immediately start opening fire. So once again, we engage in battle. Everyone gets their dice, everyone gets their weapon, and we engage. So, as the battle gets underway, let's see what needs to happen. Let me just use trackability. I may maybe have to go this way. Ah, there's the trap, finally. So anyways, we engage in battle with the airships. My other group typically throws my ass out in front to take the brunt of the attacks. Just because I'm pretty much the runt who they know they can just push around. But the thing is, all I was armed with was just a mere laser pistol and some spiked gloves. I had to roll all my dice. I think I had I think I had to roll like 6 or 7 D6s just to see if I could actually land a hit on those airships. And I was able to put in one successful hit on one of the airships just to blow out one of their turbines with my laser pistol. But that was the extent of my advantage against the airships, because then the airships really began opening fire. They were firing lasers, they were firing machine guns at us. Aha, here we go. Okay, found a freeze-dried burger, and I'm a little bit hungry, so I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna give... Why am I don't want to equip a burger. I want to eat the burger. There we go. There. Good protein. Okay, now we have to start... Now we need to go to the 3rd floor. We've already extracted all the chests on this floor. Yeah, so anyways, back to the Shadowrun story. So I had to roll up all my dice. I was able to blow out one of the turbines on the airships, but it had an auxiliary turbine that it was able to resort to keep it aloft. So they were firing machine guns, lasers, and it then got to the point where every laser that got fired was setting the junkyard on fire. It burned off, and my guys were just trying to throw Molotov cocktails at these airships. There were a couple of successful hits on the airships, which pretty much just caused one of... Now, there were only 2 airships, mind you. So we were just... we were engaging in battle. I was firing my laser pistol like an idiot. Without even thinking about how it was gonna kill me. And the guys behind were just lobbing Molotov cocktails. And then, we were able to cause one of the airships to fall back, just temporarily. But, everyone ran out of Molotov cocktails, and then it got to the point where the entire junkyard got set on fire in the ensuing melee. And then, my character was taking really heavy damage at that point. And I wasn't even sure if my character was even going to survive. But to the rest of my group, they were like, whatever. I mean, if you die, you die. I mean, it just means more of the payout for us. So, we were not doing good in the battle against those airships. I mean, those airships were really kicking our ass. And all of our ranged weapons then our ranged explosive weapons were exhausted. We didn't have any more Molotov cocktails to throw at these airships. And the second airship that fell back had finally regained its bearings and once again went on the advance. So, what we had to do was we then had finally somebody with a brain in our group said to hide behind some of the junk and until the airships go away, but that's not the case because now the entire junkyard was on fire. So if we were to hide somewhere, we would take burn damage. So then, how did the rest of the campaign? So basically, the rest of the campaign was a total disaster. I mean, we were just running around like chickens with our head cut off by being pot-shotted by these airships while also taking burn damage from all the fire that was going on inside of the junkyard. I mean, the only thing that really the only thing that we were able to succeed in doing in that campaign was just getting ourselves burned and burned hard. And also in a funny turn of events, the foreman was pretty much completely engulfed in flames at that point. But I mean, he was just walking around the junkyard with a cup of coffee, and he was like, "Well, shit," and he just drank his coffee and then dropped dead. And then, for some strange reason, we decided to end the campaign right there. Because we thought, well, if the foreman's gonna drop dead after having his cup of coffee while combusting to death, we might as well just follow suit. And that was pretty much it for the campaign. So, fun times in Shadowrun. Yeah, the campaign was an absolute disaster, but it was a hilarious disaster. You know, and you know what, it was such... I mean, it was such an experience, and I kind of want to do another Shadowrun tabletop campaign sometime. And all that poor foreman wanted to do was finish his coffee. Okay, let's see. 84 points. I don't think I need more money. Yeah, 23,420 pesetas. I'm a fat cat in terms of money here. Okay, I think I'm gonna go this way to go upstairs. Let me check the map to see if there's not another sinkhole here. No, not sinkhole, but a trap hole. Okay, there's no trap hole. Okay, let's head upstairs. Okay, we're on the third floor now. Okay, so now let's see what the map has to say about the third floor. Okay, so let's move to the third floor here. Okay. Okay, good. There are no trap holes on this floor. But we do have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 chests. There's a cola in one, an empty, and a trap, 20 macetas, and a flash. Okay, so I have to go southwest again to get to the first chest. Okay, let's go. So, oh, hang on, I just gotta get the game back up here. Okay, so south, I think this is west. South and west again. Nope, we're gonna have to investigate the chest first. Nice can of cola. And we get greeted by a couple lights. Does anyone have any tabletop stories they want to share? Because it is my personal belief that there is no such thing as a bad tabletop story. I mean, the stories themselves are more, I can say arguably even more wild than the game themselves. Arguably, that is. I mean, some people might have a different viewpoint on that, but that's just my viewpoint of that. Okay, now we need to see where the next chest is. Okay, so we have to go east, then south, then west. Oops. Hang on a minute. Okay, let's check the compass. Okay, east. Okay, this one's just a dead end, so we have to go into the next one. I think it's this way now. We don't open, we always check for traps. Okay, this one's empty. Okay, so that's the second chest of this floor. Had one session with a D&D dungeon master made an item on the spot that boosted charisma if memory serves me well. Oh, cool. So if you had an item that boosted your charisma, you were pretty much going to be let in all the major pubs without ID check. Or at least seduce a dragon or an owlbear or two. Okay, so that's 2 chests. Let's see what a third one is. Okay, we need to go south and then west to find 20 macetas in that chest. Alright, moving on. Gonna take a look at the compass. I think this is north. Yep, okay, so we have to go south again. Okay, it's this way. Check for traps. 20 macetas. So what was the name of the item that boosted your charisma? Please don't tell me it's Axe Body Spray, please. Okay, I don't think I need to be... Okay, so that's 3 chests. There's supposed to be 1 more to go. It's what that item was that had me laughing to this day. The item happened to be a cock ring of charismatic diplomacy. That is freaking awesome! A cock ring of charismatic diplomacy. Did it also help boost intimacy bit amongst other characters or NPCs? 84 points. I don't need to open this chest. $18 points. 40 macetas. Nothing over here. Okay, so there's the exit. Wish I knew, given I wasn't the one who was wearing it. Oh, okay. If somebody at least... Was somebody able to use it successfully in that session? Do tell. Okay, so that goes upstairs. What? I think there was a treasure chest I still missed. Let me take a one look here. Okay, looks like there was a chest that was supposed to have a flash in it. Now, normally flashes are basically throwaway items, but I do want to just loot one more chest here. Like I said, I like to loot all the chests. So there was supposed to be a chest over here that had a flash, but it didn't. All it did was grant stats. Huh. Okay. Maybe it was over here. points. Okay. Nope, I guess nothing. I guess maybe that was a bit of a dud. Or maybe it might be another version of the game, I don't know. But you know what? Never mind. Let's just... I think we're pretty much good over here, so nothing over here. So let's just head to the 4th floor. Okay, here we are on the 4th floor. So this is supposed to be the top floor of the dungeon. Let's take a look at our map. Okay, so this is a very long, winding path where once you get to the chamber at the end, you're supposed to trade your Amber Eye for the torch. And with it, you can use the torch to collect a Laramie nut from the Laramie tree, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we got ourselves a long walk to that room. So yeah. Oh, we still have encounters. And he's burning me. Better than the magicians with their lightning. That lightning takes off a lot of HP. Even if you have Laconia armor on. 120 Macetas. So, yeah. Let me see if I can recall another D&D session. Let me see, because I did remember playing some D&D campaigns in the past. Okay, here's another one. My memory of this campaign's a little vague, so I don't know if I can pretty much provide all the details in a coherent manner. Wait, I want to see what happens when I telecommunicate. So, because there's a like, oh yeah, so I found that out the hard way. Anyways, let's move on here. So there was I had a D&D 3rd edition campaign a while ago. No, this is not just a while ago, but like, I'd say 7 years ago, I think. Okay, so it tells me the same thing. So if I remember correctly, I think I was a halfling rogue for that session. Oh, Titans. Oh boy. Let me see if I can tie him up with a rope. Let's raise a defensive wall here. So yeah, in that particular campaign, I was pretty much a halfling rogue, and I was with my band of adventurers at an inn, because usually that's pretty much the traditional way to start off your adventures in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. In that campaign, we were just pretty much just expected just to wander the lands and find an orc camp where the orcs were holding. I think it's like this magic wand that this This magician had commissioned our group of adventurers to retrieve a stolen magic wand from a band of orcs in the northwest of the town. However, our band members also happen to be wanted criminals by the governor of the town that we were in. So, even though we were wanted, we were wanted for petty theft. We were pretty much out in the open, just drinking and conversing inside the middle of this inn, where everyone would be able to point point out who we were to the authorities. So, just as... Okay, let's just keep going here. Anyways, just as we were about ready to leave... No. As we were leaving, the town guards took notice of us coming out of the tavern. And they pretty much called for backup. So we were dealing with, I would say, 8 guards that were coming towards us. And, ah, fuck. Arrow to the knee. Anyways. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna teleport. I do need to have everyone recover right now, so I'm just gonna have everybody eat a burger. So yeah, so the town guards were coming at us, left, right, and center. And we were trying to engage them as best as we could. But, I forgot my character's level. I think everybody started at level 1, if I'm not mistaken. But we were dealing with these level 3 town guards. And we were engaging as best as we could. I think one of my guys who absolutely happened to be like let me see. No, he was a barbarian. We had a barbarian in our group. And he was trying to double team the guards while I was like busy dealing with one guard. And I was just throwing I was throwing my D20. The D20 was constantly landing between 6 to 10. My rolls were just really bad that day, and I was just constantly... I was able to do minor damage to the town guards at best, but the guards were like closing in, and while we had our barbarian take out a couple of the guards successfully enough, there was more backup coming in, and then we finally realized that we were in over our heads just trying to take on the town guards. So we tried to beat feet out of town and get to the orc camp. But as the guards were chasing us, we had to hide. So there was this fruit vendor nearby and we were all trying to hide in baskets of fruit in order to elude the guards. But okay, so let's keep going. Anyways, we were trying to elude and my guy was like trying to hide as best as he could, but the lid of the fruit barrel would not fit over my head. So I was able to put the lid on, but I couldn't secure the lid over the rim of the barrel. And it was just me poking my forehead out with my eyes and nose just over the rim of the barrel. And these dungeon guards were like... No, the town guards, not the dungeon guards. The town guards were... Like, we're just closing in. And then I noticed that... And then I thought I could pretty much just do a roll to see if they could not notice me. But I failed the roll. I failed the evasion roll, and I think it was evasion. I'm not 100% certain on that one. But anyways, the guards took notice, and all I could do at that point was run out of town wearing this stupid fruit barrel over me, and I was just bouncing along back and forth in a very slow fashion because the barrel of fruit added weight to my character. And at that point, the town guards didn't even have to run after me. They could just walk after me. So I was just bouncing back and forth, trying to leave town, and the town guards at that point were just casually strolling right up to me, ready to arrest me. So the DM at that point decided, fuck it, we're just gonna have you guys successfully escape from town by sheer will of the DM. So we managed to quote-unquote successfully escape town, even though the guards were breathing down our necks. So So apparently we got rewarded with the DM being very lenient to our current situation. Anyways, I'm gonna continue the story, but let's read what we have over here. This fire was lit during the eclipse, which occurs once every 100 years. If you give me a gem from a dragon, I'll give you some of this fire. How about it? So let's say I say no. No? Then what did you come for? Okay, let's say yes. Here, take this eclipse torch. Okay, we got ourselves the eclipse torch. Well, Alice raises the torch towards the sky. Nothing happens, however. Can we, This fire was a dream. We can get a torch, and now I'll give you some of this fire. You have no gem. Do I look like a fool or something? Okay, because we already traded the Amber Eye for the torch. Yeah, but you know what? We got what we came for. We have the torch. Good. We're already... It would be too much of a slog to just go right back to the first floor, so let's see if I can exit. I just had enough MP to exit out of this... Exit out of the Corona Tower. And Alice has enough MP to get us back to Twin Town. Okay, so let's admit ourselves to the hospital and recover. So, let me just continue my story here at the end of in my D&D campaign. So anyways, we successfully, in quotations that is, managed to escape from town, and we decided to head off into the northwest to find the Orc camp, which has the Magician's Wand that we need as part of our quest. So after like a little bit of pacing about, we decided to break camp to help everyone recover, then sleep it all off. Then by the break of dawn, we then continued to head towards the Orc camp. So we got to the Orc camp. Okay, first let's save, because I haven't saved in a while. Okay, so we got the torch. So now we still need to go to Altiplano Plateau in order to find the Laramanut, in order to complete our quest here on planet Desolus. But now getting back to the D&D campaign, we entered the Orc village, or the Orc camp. No, not the village, but the camp. So there were, like, again, it was pretty much what you'd expect from an Orc camp. Tents everywhere, other Orcs patrolling back and forth, other Orcs just probably just nodding off, or just having fights with one another over some of the most pettiest of reasons. And since I was the halfling rogue, it was up to me just to sneak past the guards to see if we could find the wand in any of the tents. They also had a big roaring bonfire in the middle of the camp, if I remember. That becomes a little important later. So, anyways, I was performing successful check. I was doing successful roll checks in terms of sneaking past some of the sleeping guards, but I also had to elude some of the other patrolling Orcs in the area, and so I can then investigate each tent to see where that Magician's Wand was, because I think there were like 6 tents in that camp. So I was able to check a couple of tents. A couple of the tents were empty. No Orcs, no wand, no treasure chest or anything. I got to the 3rd tent, and but as I was trying to sneak in, I did manage to sneak into the tent, only to find myself face to face with a couple of Orc guards staring down at me in disbelief. So my cover was blown. I tried to do an escape roll, but to no avail. So all the other orcs got alerted to my presence, and all hell broke loose. So my other team members had no other choice but to come in and rescue my ass. And in the resulting melee, we had to contend with 20 orcs in camp. Let's see what we would do. I had to engage 2 orcs at once. And I was like doing like mid-level D20 throws, and I was doing surprisingly not bad in battle at that point. But the other orcs were starting to close in on my location, and all my other team members. Let me get out the land rover first. And none of my team members were just had to throw stones and cause all sorts of other distractions. I mean, we had a magician in our group, also who had to actually have to throw fireballs at the other orcs just to get them away from me, so they could engage the rest of my party members. And while all this was going on, I was just desperately trying to fend off a couple of orcs. I mean, they had like big ass swords, and I had this little knife. And for some strange reason, I was able to successfully deflect their heavy weapons against my puny little knife. I was now throwing, like, I was doing some good throws with my D20. And then the DM was basically looking for a desperate amount of it. He was looking for any excuse possible just to explain how I, as a little halfling rogue, was able to deflect the attacks of 2 big hulking orcs armed with armed with these heavy broadswords. And all I could really say is that these orcs were just clumsy. I mean, they've noticed me, but they're too clumsy with their actual attacks, even though they were standing right beside me. And I decided, you know what, I can't do this forever. So what I was going to do then was, I was just going to get the hell out of that tent and get into some open space. So, by doing so, I did manage to rendezvous with the rest of my team, who are also having their hands full fighting off every other orc, even though it was all one-on-one battles, because they were following action movie rules, where it's like even though you're being surrounded in a group, it's all the other orcs will not engage unless during all the other orcs will not engage while there's a one-on-one battle going on. So that's pretty much an action movie rule that the DM decided that he wanted to have for our current little predicament. So I was running back to my team, and only to have one orc just pop up right in front of me, wielding an axe. And now the funny thing is that when the orc attacked me, he didn't use his axe. Instead, he decided to use his fist, and he hit me so hard that he knocked me 2 tiles away into the fire. And while everyone is busy engaging with the other orcs, my character was being roasted alive on this bonfire. And I was trying, and at that point, since I was pretty much a total noob to the whole D&D tabletop routine, I tried to heal my guy by quaffing a potion of healing while I was in the middle of the bonfire. And the DM had to casually inform me by saying, "You can't be drinking potions while you're being burned alive in the smack dab in the middle of the bonfire. You need to get off the bonfire before you can take a potion of healing." So, yeah. So I had to get off the bonfire. Now I had to exhaust my churn just to get out of the bonfire, but I was also suffering burn damage at that point, because I was... And he hits me with lightning. And I get an Irritanity. Yeah, so I was being hurt. I had burn damage, and I was also, and I quaffed the potion of healing, but there was still at least a little bit of burn damage left, which would only dissipate after 3 churns. And everyone else was busy engaging with the orcs. And then while that was going on, I had the orc that knocked me back earlier approached me again, and then at that point, I had to be occupied with that orc for the duration of the entire session. We didn't even finish our campaigns. We didn't even finish that particular part of our campaign that night because I think we spent like upwards of up to 4 hours of trying to resolve that whole battle with the orcs in their camp. And by the time we had finally, somehow, some way, we all managed to kill the orcs in that camp. I mean, there were like 20 orcs in there, and we managed to kill them all. So, after all that was said and done, we had to then search all the tents to see if we could find the magician's stolen wand. And sure enough, there was one chest located in one corner that looked suspicious enough, so we had to do it. I had to pretty much use my skills as a disarmer to disarm the trap and pick the lock and open the chest. And sure enough, there was the wand as well as I think about 100 pieces of gold in the chest as well. And we decided to call a session for that night because we've already spent like 4 hours trying to resolve all of our battles against 20 orcs in the camp. And honestly, I never played another D&D campaign since then because I was busy with other matters in life because I was also a university student at the time, and I had to do some studying for a test at the time, so I couldn't come out for D&D sessions anymore. Okay, let's take a look in here. Nope. Okay, so there we go. Another story from my tabletop gaming era, from my times of playing tabletop games, tabletop D&D games. That is. I mean, there are other stories too, but let me just see. You know what? I don't know. I mean, I'm having I'm having a bit more difficult time remembering those particular sessions now because the details are not very coherent now, and I don't know. I don't really want to I don't want to exaggerate the details, if you know what I mean. Oh boy. Anyways, let's kill off this herd of mammoths and continue searching for that Lerma tree. We gotta get to the Altiplano Plateau and get that Lerma nut from the tree. And after we're done with that, our job on the planet of Dezoris should be finished. And these mammoths are kicking my ass. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try having Noah use Thunder Magic on them. Oh, that does wonders. Let's just cook a few elephants. Let's see, what else can I just come up with? Oh yeah. Here's another interesting question. Have you guys ever been to a Bonadori festival before? 160 points. Cool. You guys know what a Bonadori festival is? That's gonna communicate telepathy. Okay, it's just the same spiel that other monsters give me. Frostman. Or at least any other board games. If you have stories about playing certain board games, it doesn't have to be like tabletop RPGs. 36 points. As for the Bonadori, the reason why I'm asking here is because there is a Bonadori festival happening this Saturday in my city, and I might want to check it out just because not only do I want to have a chance to do a bit of a Bonadori dance, I'm also looking at possibly trying some of all the Japanese street eatery like taiyaki, takoyaki, so maybe even some ramen, or dango. But I don't know about the dango. I mean, dango is extremely chewy. And I wasn't able to finish it the last time I've had it. Okay, so I can't cut the ice here. Gotta be careful, this guy can shoot lightning. Let's just stick with the rod. Let's do a rope. My first season of D&D was crazy. My friend was DMing, I and this other guy were playing. When we made our characters, my friend let us pick pets. The other guy picked the pamper. I picked a parrot named Bob. Bob the parrot. At one point we forgot to secure our horses, so my friend had Bob push a rock onto our horse's reins so they wouldn't wander off. This gave me the idea that anytime we need extra help, I'd got Bob to do it. And to announce it, I would say, but what about Bob? Okay, so Bob is now dropping rocks. Okay. Skip to the end where we were fighting a Hydra. We were having trouble. So I cue Bob, my friend, who at this point was so annoyed at this, rolls the d20, natural 20, cool. Bob proceeded to take a dagger and in one swipe cut all his heads off, then die. From that day on, anytime I want to annoy my friend, I'd just say, but what about Bob? And he'd say, fuck Bob, he's dead. Okay, that is pretty funny. Oh, if I could have some more story. I seem to have a phone call coming in. Hang on, guys, I have to take a call. I'll be right back. Okay, no, it's just a telemarketer. Okay, never mind, false alarm. Okay, back we go. Did I already go this way? Yeah, you know what, I think I might have. You ever play a level 0 campaign? A level 0 campaign, huh? Can't say I have. Okay, nobody left me a message about why that call is. Maybe it really was just a telemarketer. Because I clearly didn't recognize the telephone number. So what is the level 0 campaign about? Is it just really just simple, like a simple fetch quest or something like that? Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. First, let me just go back to... I kind of lost my train of thought here for a moment, so let me just go recover back in town for a bit. Because I don't really want to end today's session just about yet. I do need to finish all my duties here on planet Dezoris, so I do need to find that Altiplano Plateau so I can collect the Lerma Nut. Okay, let's do a quick savey save. Okay, so now let's go fresh out into the open wilderness again. No, it starts before your character becomes a hero, so you start out as a simple person. Oh, okay. So you're just like just a regular Joe Schmo, and then after that you have to just, I guess, do some errands before you could be classified as a hero. Is that accurate with what I just said? Ah, okay. So, as a level 0, what do you usually do in order to become a hero? I mean, like, what tasks are put towards you in order for you to reach the promotional status of hero? Yeah, did you get promoted to the status of hero, that is? Macetas. Okay, cool. I mean, so let me just see if I can find an example of what a level 0 could do. So let's just say, I pretty much roll to create a new character, and in order for me to, no set thing, the one thing I was a part of was a call to arms, okay. But could your character also, as a level 0, like, have to do, like, some basic extermination quests, like, go down into a cellar and fight and kill some spiders or rats, and that whole thing. Or go into the sewer and bludgeon a few slimes. here's another thing I want to bring up. Because I used to play the MMO game for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, there's a Dungeons and Dragons MMO called DDO, or Dungeons and Dragons Online. It's still active to this day, but I actually played it a few times in the past. It's honestly not a bad game, although it's kind of dated in its presentation. But I still kind of have fun with it. I mean, but the thing is DDO, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons Online is owned by Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast doesn't have a very good reputation with the fans with the fans right now. I think they've been screwing around with their Magic the Gathering releases. And I'm not sure what the full details were in regards to it, but all I know is that the fandom is not very happy right now with Wizards of the Coast. So on that note, I'm gonna have to hold off from playing DDO, like either casually or even on stream until this whole mess gets cleared, or which I'm kind of doubting, considering that Wizards of the Coast is pretty corporate in their behaviors. Okay, let me see what you guys have said. Another that comes to mind was a session where they had a crap load of items to identify. One of my party members just had to pour one of the potions down my throat before I could identify them. Oh, they made you a guinea pig. Oh boy. You can, but you should wait until level 1. Oh, okay. Okay, I got a couple flashes I'm gonna have to drop off. Okay, I'm definitely okay. Let's bring out the Land Rover this time, because I don't think. Okay, so and let's just. We need to find another area of the Zors to break through with our ice digger. So let's go back a bit. White dragons are a pain in the ass to deal with. Okay, at least we get 75 points out of this. Okay, 234 Macedas, let's go. Okay, I can pretty much just get out of this battle very easily with Noah's telepathy. It sure does live up to its name. And how? Okay, so we're back out here in a new spot, so let's bring out the ice digger. There we go. You know, and I might actually consider looking forward to doing a level 0 campaign, but I'm gonna have to... Next DM I talk with, I'm gonna see if he's up to doing something like that, but if he gives us, like preset characters who are already established as heroes, then whatever. I mean... Also, another thing I want to note on is that my roommate's son, who's also living here with us, he wants to do a D&D campaign as well, but right now he's currently building the world as we speak, and I've already volunteered to help him with the world building, but what he wants, and my character is going to be a necromancer. I wanted to be a warlock, but he doesn't have any room in his campaign for a warlock, so we're going with necromancer. So you know what? Just like Sarzak. Because I actually like the idea of raising the dead and having them do my bidding. So apparently the campaign that he, yeah. So my character's background would just basically involve him pledging absolute loyalty to the god of necromancy. And by giving in exchange for loyalty, I'm granted my necromancer abilities. So I'm going to have to pretty much do various tasks that my god would assign to me, or whatever else my teammates expect. And we're probably just going to be heading out across many different locales in his custom-generated world. And as a result, if I were to complete all the tasks that my necromancer god expects of me. Okay, so we found some soft ice here to break through. That's cool. Okay, so we're in a new spot. So let's see what's around over here. This may be the Altiplano Plateau that we've been looking for. Points. Yeah, so anyways, if I were to actually complete all the tasks that were assigned to me by my god of necromancy, he would reward me with a familiar that can take the form of a sanctuary. So it would just, if I decide to have my character live in a hut, the familiar can take the form of a hut. And if I wanted my character to live in a castle, it can take the form of a castle. So the sanctuary familiar that would be assigned to my character would then be used to generate a castle. And then from there, my necromancer could then just live inside the castle familiar for the rest of his days. But that's only as a reward for completing the tasks assigned to me by the god of necromancy. And his ultimate goal is to populate his castle with as much loyal denizens as possible. But then we would take the denizens and go out on all sorts of very strange and wonderful adventures. And all of this was influenced by an old TV show called The Hilarious House of Frightenstein. I don't know if you guys have heard of this show. This was a show that aired in Canada in the 1970s, and also it aired in certain areas of the United States as well, albeit with a laugh track. So it was the show, The Hilarious House of Frightenstein, follows the exploits of this one Count Frightenstein, who is the 13th son of Count Dracula, and his ultimate goal is to resurrect a Frankenstein-like monster named Bruce, so that he could pretty much submit his victory to the other Council of Vampires, and by doing so, he would have enough of an admiration and enough of a positive reputation to join his other fellow vampires back in Transylvania. And that's pretty much the general plot of the Frightenstein TV series. But the entire show itself is pretty much a variety sketch comedy, mostly for kids. And pretty much his Count Frightenstein's assistant, aptly named Igor, just would try to help him resurrect Bruce every episode. But the running joke of the series is that they could never get Bruce to wake up. They tried very close a few times, but they just couldn't do it. Also, the show had Vincent Price in the cast. And I don't give a damn what kind of a show you have. If you have Vincent Price as a chief or a supporting cast member, you have my complete and undivided attention. Vincent Price is a freaking saint, and anything that he did, movie, TV, or otherwise, I'll watch. I'm a huge Vincent Price fan. Professor Julius Sumner Miller. Yes, Julius Sumner Miller. He himself was also a real-life professor, and who also did some stand-up comedy at some point, if I remember correctly. But he also did quite some good He did some science experiments on the show that kids can replicate at home. Okay, I think this is the Larima tree that I need to examine. One of my friends is Vincent Price's niece. That is amazing. That you are friends with a niece of the Price family. I bet your friend has an incredible amount of stories to tell about the legacy of Vince. Anywho, here we are at the lemon tree, and now we need to collect the nut. Okay, so now we can't do a basic search. So let's heat up the tree by using the torch. Alice raises the torch towards the sky. Alice takes the nut of Larima and puts it in a Laconian pot. We collected the Larima nut. We're good people. Nuts. Alice takes out nuts. MYAU isn't hungry, so she puts the food back. Okay, so MYAU is going to be hungry at some point where we're going to have to feed him the nut. And that will enable him to fly. We also went to the same private school. Oh, cool! Did she show you some of Vincent Price's, like, personal items, by any chance? Okay, so the tree freezes up immediately afterwards. Okay, so we got the nut. So it looks to me that our job on Dazorus is at an end, but let me just bring out the ice digger again so we can get off the Altiplano Plateau. No. Billy Van doing nice chunk of the roles for Hilarious House of Friends. Yes, Billy Van was the chief. He was the lead role for the show. Okay, well, anyways, I just thought I'd ask about that. Yeah, but Billy Van did a lot of the roles. He did Count Frightenstein, he did Griselda the Ghastly Gourmet. I think he did the Oracle. Wait, I think I was in here before. Okay. Yeah, I was already in this cave. By we, I mean Vincent Price, of course, at different times. Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah. So getting back to the show, Vincent Price was on set, but I think the reports were saying that he only spent 3 days filming for the Hilarious House of Frightenstein. So he did all of his segments in 3 days, which included the intro, the outro, and his in-episode poetry segments. And and I'm gonna tell you something, when Vincent Price does poetry, especially Edgar Allan Poe poetry, he's worth listening to. And if I remember, and so Hilarious House of Frightenstein, I don't remember the total number of episodes, but I do know that all the episodes did run into the triple figures, so I think there might have been 176 episodes, I believe. If anyone wants to correct me on that, please do so. But yeah, there were a lot of episodes of Hilarious House of Frightenstein made. And in my humble opinion, if I had that show with me, all the episodes, I wouldn't need any other TV show. I'm dead serious. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein is a show that is so distinct and quirky enough that you can watch that show in endless reruns forever, and you'll still find something new to discover in every episode that you just never seen before. I mean, that show works wonderfully in reruns, because there's always something different and something new and fresh to see that you may have never seen before. That's just the magic of the show, I find. Griselda the Ghastly Gourmet is also one of my favorite segments on that show, just because of the fact that every time she tries to make, well, the Billy Van character just playing her, just every time she just tries to make some new recipes, Every single time she goes into the kitchen, she always hits her head on a frying pan, and it just sounds like a Chinese gong. I always get a kick out of that. Anything over here I can break through? Well, one of mine happens to be the Wolfman and Oracle. Yes, I love the Wolfman segments. Sadly, they had to cut his segments from the DVDs or any home video releases just on the grounds that they could not secure the music rights. And it's unfortunate because they were playing some pretty good 1970s tunes on that show. And every time the tunes played, the Wolfman would always get his guitar, go into this background that is just completely tie-dye, and he just, not only he dances and plays his guitar, and then Igor just joins him immediately afterwards, wearing a big t-shirt that has the letter I on it. Many of the treasure chests in the dungeon are trapped. Did I already enter? Oh my goodness, I kind of lost track of which cave I entered. You know, maybe I didn't go in this one yet. 16 points. Oracle, I think, is funny because he sounds like Peter Lorre. And of course, you have Super Hippie. I mean, how he's able to get around the castle flying like that, I'll never know. And also my favorite character in the... No, I know what my favorite character in that show is now. The gorilla. The gorilla in the Hilarious House of Frightenstein is my favorite character. Just for no other reason than he comes into the picture in this makeshift jungle backdrop that exists in the castle for some strange reason. He pretty much just walks around, but sometimes carries a baseball bat. He gets hit in the head by a baseball and just face plants. And that's it. And sometimes the baseballs never hit him, and he just and the girl at the end of that segment's like, fuck it, I'm face planting anyway. Just throws his arms up in the air, flips the bat, and face plants on the ground. End segment. Why you hit the gorilla? He's one of my people. I know. I mean, the gorilla never hurt anybody. Okay, I think we're close to Skure now, but I still want to bring out the ice digger. Okay, cannot break through. Anything else over here, or is that pretty much it for the Zorus? Okay, so now we're dealing with the weaker enemies at this area of the planet. One of my favorite Wolfman quotes. Yes. I mean, my god, that show had so many different segments in it. Aside from, like I said, aside from Count Frightenstein and Igor, you had the Wolfman, you had the Oracle, you had Super Hippie, you had the Mosquito, Griselda the Ghastly Gourmet, the Professor, yeah, here we are back in Skure. You also had the Librarian, who tries to read... He wants to try and scare the kids by trying to read these gross nursery rhymes, and instead of scaring the kids, I mean, the kids pretty much just... He presumes that, well, he notes in a fourth wall breaking matter that the kids are laughing at him, and he says, I'm gonna get you next time. I swear it. But he never does. And that's the joke. Grammar, Slammer, Bammer, and oh god. Yes, the Grammar Slammer. Okay, I'll be straight up here. The Grammar Slammer is an absolute dick. I mean, he always demands that Igor has to correct his grammar because Igor You know, unfortunately, being the guy with the foreign accent is always gonna have bad English grammar, and then the grammar slammer demands, he doesn't ask, he demands that Igor correct his grammar, or he's going to unleash the monster, the grammar slammer Bammer, on him, and the grammar slammer Bammer would quote-unquote start bamming Igor, as in, he'll beat the shit out of him, because he used bad grammar. And of course, Igor never gets banned. He always manages to get his grammar corrected. And he learns to use the correct grammar. I want you to learn Lerma. Okay, well, you're not going to get it from me. Okay. So now we are back in school, eh? Here's what I'm going to do. First, I need to rest up at the hospital. Okay, first I gotta go through this tunnel. I mean, what's a little bit of extra fighting in the dungeon? 22 points. I mean, leveling up our characters now is becoming much more of a chore now, because once you're getting into the mid-20s, it becomes a total slog. So anything from levels, I'd say everything from between level 25 to the final level of 30, it's going to take a long time to level up your characters. But thankfully, I still have a few more dungeons to explore to help offset the tediousness of the grind. So yeah. So aside from that, I don't know, who else, what other segment was there on Hilarious House of Frightenstein? Because I know there was the mailman Harvey Wallbanger, who pretty much gives the Count his mail. They'd also, yeah, and you know, the fans of the show can also send in their mail to, I believe, to the Count and to Dr. Sumner. And Dr. Sumner was the kind of guy who just made no apologies for what he did. I mean, everyone knew he was pretty complex in his presentation, in his explanations, but he's like, yeah, but I want you to pretty much understand understand the joy of science with my explanations, or something like that. Dr. Petvet. Oh yeah, there's Dr. Petvet as well. Let me see. Who else am I missing out? We already covered the Oracle. Oh yeah. I think there was the... let me see. There was this hippie guy who also... I think he was like... I don't know, did they call him the Maharaja or something like that? And every time he would stroke his lute, he would pretty much just... he would get showered with flowers at the end of the segment. Alright, whatever, I'm gonna stop at the church and set up my checkpoint. Alice needs 3,584 points. 3,815 points. Odin needs 2,024. No one needs 939. Yep, the toll to level up now is much higher than before. Okay, so I'm gonna save. Okay, so now we can... exit this refrigerator of a planet. Maharishi, that's the one. His name's hard to pronounce. I just thought Maharaja or something like that. But no, it's Maharishi. Maharishi, yeah. Trying to think who else was on that show, because there were so many segments, and the show was an hour long, mind you. So for an hour-long children's show in 1970, in the early 1970s, that is. So you're not getting a half-hour program now. You're getting a full hour of this stuff every episode. Every episode is a full, glorious hour of wacky segments in the hilarious House of Frankenstein. And if for those of you who are curious about the hilarious House of Frankenstein, you could check YouTube. I think Pluto.TV, the Pluto channel has a few episodes, or is it Tubi? I'm not sure. It might be on Pluto or it might be Tubi, but may I remind everyone that you may not have the full unedited segments because of the music rights with the Wolf, due to the music rights during the Wolfman segments. It was also on Tubi. Tubi, got it. I really need... You know what? All this talk about the hilarious House of Frankenstein makes me want to watch the show again. And I have no regrets watching the show. Every episode is a good time. Even if the jokes are absolutely lame. Okay, so we're already done with Score. We don't need to go to Uzo, so we're going to Gothic. Tubi doesn't have the music segments, obviously, and I'm not surprised. Okay, we're finally leaving the Zorus, going back to the lush green planet of Palma. Okay, finally off that popsicle of a planet. Okay, first we gotta set up our checkpoint at the church. Because I don't want to go back to Scurry if my guys run into any trouble and I have to use a transfer or the fly or the fly spell. Okay, Berserk say one. No, I do not. It's gonna be the same spiel. Okay, so let's save. Okay, cool. Okay, let's exit out of here. Now what? Okay, we are close to Medusa's tower, so let's go this way. 5 points. 12 Mesetas. Yeah, the payouts over here are pretty weak. But that's because this is the starting planet of the game, so of course that's to be expected. Speaking of Tubi, has anyone been watching anything interesting on Tubi? Because last night my friends and I were watching Iron Chef. They actually have episodes of Iron Chef on Tubi. But a lot of them tend to center around Masaharu Morimoto. So let me see what episodes of... Okay, we were watching an Iron Chef where they were preparing guinea fowl, and there was another episode where they were using red snapper as the ingredients. There was supposed to be... Oh yeah, and rice was another key ingredient in Kitchen Stadium as well. So we were watching 3 episodes of Iron Chef last night. One with red snapper, one with rice, and another one with guinea fowl. We were also supposed to have watched an episode where broccoli was the key ingredient of the episode, but my friend kind of didn't want to deal with that because they were talking during one segment that dealt with seafood, and she can only tolerate one episode that dealt with seafood at a time, and because a lot of it has to do with the fact that she has a seafood allergy and tends to get very squeamish around seafood. She was only able to tolerate the red snapper episode enough. Okay, you know, I'm gonna save over here. Okay, let's go in. Okay, so here we are in the next tower dungeon. This is Medusa's tower, and we need to track down Medusa so we can collect the Laconium Axe. So what we're gonna do is we are going to bring up our map here. So first, let's get out of this one. Okay, we don't need this, we don't need this. We already got those done. Here we go, Medusa Tower. Alright, let's see what we can do over here. Alright, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holy wow, this is a big-ass dungeon. Okay. Okay, you know what? Let's just take it one floor at a time. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 chests on this floor. Wait, hold on. Maybe I might have... No. Hang on. I looked at it wrong. With it, that's the basement. And when looking at the basement, I need to look at the first floor. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 chests, a trap hole, and there's an information booth. Okay. Let's get this out here and get the game back up. Alright, let's go this way. And we're met at the gate by the Sphinx. Right, like a Packers. I'm probably going to be going for another half hour for this stream before I'm going to call session because it will be dinner time. And my roommates will have a good meal made for. Last night we were having pork chops with vegetables and hollandaise sauce and mashed potatoes with cream of mushrooms and gravy. Moi, c'est magnifique. Points. Did I collect a flash? Oop, what did I do that for? Okay. Yeah, there was a flash that got picked up earlier. I gotta drop that because that wastes inventory space. Okay, we gotta go this way. Oh look, this SOB again. Alright, let's time up. And he shoots his lightning at me, which does heavy-ass damage. Where was I? Oh yes, Iron Chef. Have you guys been checking out some Iron Chef episodes on Tubi? 30 points. I mean, it's not the whole series, it's just a select batch of episodes, sadly enough. You will soon find out the truth. Okay. We have a conspiracy nut in here. Okay. I think this way now. Sadly, I really wish I was on board with the whole Iron Chef craze back in the 90s, but I don't think I actually had the network that even broadcast it. Well, I mean, we're in Canada, and I don't think they even had any episodes of Iron Chef airing in Canada at the time. Okay, let's check the chest. No trap. Cola. Okay. Must have been a refrigerated chest, if they had a can of cola in there. Alright, let's move on. Okay, there is a basement that I want to check first. So let's go... No, hang on. Okay, and not this way. This is where the conspiracy nut is, so I think it's this way where I have to go to the basement. $21 points. 58 Minnesotas in a flash. Okay, we're dumping the flash. That's a waste. It is a waste of a... And I don't think I need to bribe any more bums with coal anymore, so I can start drinking this stuff. And I'm gonna give it to Odin because he's thirsty. But it only recovers 10 HP at a time. So it's kind of, so he's still thirsty, let's continue Giving it to him. Gonna free up a bit of inventory space. Okay, here we are in the basement, so let's check the map again to see what we can get. Alright. It's gonna wind southwest and north through a door, then west and south through the door, again to get a burger. And, there's a corner with a couple chests, one with a burger, one being a trap. Another good corner with an escape and a flash, and there's 10 missiles in the southwest corner. Okay. Alright, let's proceed. You know what? I want to preserve magic right now, because the magic I need is to heal up my guys if they get weak. Good thing the laser gun has fixed damage. It's at least making these long drawn-out battles a little bit more tolerable. So I think the sorcerers are the ones that shoot, yeah, sorcerers shoot fireballs while magicians shoot lightning. And lightning hurts. It hurts hard in this game. $52 points. And I took an arrow to the knee for 240 Macetas. But that, you know what? Well, I'm gonna have to preserve MYAU's magic in order to disable the trap holes. $26 points. 120 Macetas. Let's go. Gonna unlock the door. What other stuff on Tubi have you guys also seen? I mean, I didn't expect I could also find kaiju stuff on Tubi, because you can watch Ultraman and Ultra Q there too. Nope, I have to disable the trap. Nope, no trap. Okay, but at least I got a burger out of it. And I was also able to watch some kaiju stuff. I mean, there was also the 1956 Godzilla, the original Godzilla, but, well, not the original, because the original does not have Perry Mason in the shots. I mean, that's the Americanized version that just added Raymond Burr to the whole shindig. Okay, anyways, there's supposed to be a couple more chests we can find in here. Nope, okay, hang on. I saw another door earlier. So in terms of watching kaiju stuff, I managed to watch Godzilla, 1956 cut, Godzilla Strikes Again, but only back when they were referring to him as Gigantus, and the Rodan movie. I want to still watch some more, so I gotta get back to watching some more kaiju stuff. But yeah, it's been too long. Oh yeah, Dungeon Key, here we go. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, this one is empty. Okay, so that's, so nothing else of interest over here. Okay, I guess we're done in this room. Alright, let's head out. And now I'm just gonna take a look at the map to see where I am. Okay, so I went into the northeast corner of this basement. Well, more like the center-east corner. Okay, and there's another couple of chests to the west and the south with an escaper and a flash. Now, okay, so let's go over this way. Centaur, you know what? Let's just fight him this time. Points. 133 Mercedes. Okay, this one doesn't have a flash inside. Okay, there's supposed to be a couple chests in here. Nope, because we always have to investigate lone chests. Okay, I don't need this, so that can be dropped. Nothing of those over here. Alright, let's take a look over here. No trap. Escaper. Good. Okay. I'll keep the escaper on hand because if I get into a sticky situation with a tough-ass boss or a tough-ass enemy, at least I have the means to escape. Okay. Well, this is one time where I could use the escaper, but I want to take my chances with these guys. So let's tie him up. Bring up the wall, and protect. These guys are annoying to fight, but they leave behind good XP and money. And you know, and the laser gun is doing some decent amount of damage to help whittle. Help us whittle down their HP that much more easily. If there's no chip damage when it comes to the laser gun, you're always going to get the 20-point damage no matter what with each enemy. Bye-bye, Titans. 64 points. 276 Mercedes, alright. $26 points. 120 Mercedes. Yeah, they're just lining up. Guys, have anything special coming up this, either later this month or next month that you want to care to share? Because I already mentioned earlier that I'm heading to the Bonadori Festival this Saturday, and hopefully that is. I'm not sure, because weather permitting, or if I go get tied up with some other family affairs. But there's also an anime convention going on in my city in the next few weeks called Icon. And my friends and I are going to be running a table at that convention. And of course we have Greg. We have voice actor Greg Ayres, who always comes back to the convention year in and year out to run a dance. He's a DJ, not just a VA. Okay, 10 Mercedes. Alright, now we're gonna consult the map again. Okay, so that's done. We got the... Yeah, it looks like we've cleaned out all the treasure chests on the basement, so we're just gonna... Now we just have to head back to the first floor. So if I go... Let me see, just... North, east, south, east, south. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's try it. North, east. Oh, more Titans. So let's build up our defenses. Man, that magic wall just gets weaker and weaker with every battle. You know what? Let's just bring out the big guns here. I don't want to just keep wasting my time with these guys forever. Although I'm actually now not sure if I'm going to be able to complete this dungeon today. I mean, the Corona Tower dungeon was bad enough as it is, and we already wasted a good chunk of time just exploring the Desorous landscape, just trying to find out which ice walls were breakable. 64 points. But at least we got what we needed. We got the torch, we got the Lermanut. So, looks like everything is just coming along together just quite nicely. Now we just need to collect the Laconian Axe, let's collect the Laconian Sword. Then we'll have all the Laconian items, then I guess we're heading to buy a MYAU. 52 points. Arrow to the knee. I don't think this is the way here. And my guys are getting their butts handed to them. Oh, well, you know what? Big deal. That's just... I expect the monsters in here to be tough, but I also want to make sure to pay... But I also want to make sure I'm getting good payouts, too. Icon is only 3 weeks. Holy crow, time flies. But you know what? I definitely want to take some pictures while I'm over there. I mean, the cosplay just keeps getting better and better every year that convention runs. Okay, I gotta start doing some healing. No, you know what? I'm not ready to save just about yet. So Sarzak's outdoing D&D campaigns. I wonder if he might actually pop in briefly just to say hi. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, but and again, I don't take it personally if people just leave abruptly. Okay, anyways, we're done with the basement. That leads to the Conspiracy Nuts chamber. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to have Alice fly. We're just going to go back to Gothic here. We're just going to admit ourselves to the hospital, get ourselves clean, get ourselves healed up. Man, I'm loaded with money. Okay, we're all nicely healed up, and now we're officially discharged. What time is it? Okay, we have 2 hours, we're already 2 hours and 49 minutes into the stream. Okay. Let me see, it's 5 o'clock. Yeah, it is getting close to dinner time for me now, so I do think this is a good time as any to call session. So what I'm gonna do then is, let's just do one more save, and then copy the save over. Good. You know what? I actually think today was pretty eventful. We got everything that we needed done at the source. So next session of Phantasy Star, we're just going to explore the rest of Medusa's Tower, collect the remaining treasures, confirm Medusa, get the Laconian Axe, then go and get the Laconian Sword, and I think the only thing that's left to do is storm Lastic's fortress. And then once that's done, I guess then there's probably one final task to that will involve having to report back to the Governor of Motavia, but there will be in for a major twist, as we will soon see. Hang on, let me just bring it over here. There we go. Let's just pause this, because that pauses the music too. And I would definitely say that by that, and after, I would say that maybe only two more Phantasy Star sessions, and I believe at that point we will be done the game. But I also have to make sure that I'm properly capped as well, because otherwise I have nothing to live up to in this in this channel. Anyways, I also want to do one last stats check before I call it. So level 25 for Alice, level 25 for MYAU, level 25 for Odin, level 25 for Noah. So everyone has synchronized levels now. Okay. Okay then, guys, so let's get back to the regular bubble screen. Alright, everyone, well, thank you very much for being a part of today's RPG Capper stream. Valhammer Jiraiya, Queen Veronica, and everyone else who came in. Thank you very much for stopping in today. So, it's now pretty much nearly dinner time now. I am getting pretty much famished. If you guys are also getting hungry, then don't hesitate to get something to eat as well. So, again, thank you very much for being part of today's stream. I'm just hoping we'll be able to do this again sometime pretty soon. If not the rest of this week, then next week for sure. You guys are rock stars for being here. And before we decide to call today's stream, I'm just gonna see who we can rate today. So let's see who's on. Oh, I got some. Okay, got some. What you gonna get some silver here? Oh. Oh, okay, gift subs. Okay. Let's go. Let's just go to the channel and see who's on. Let's just go to. Ustrahazu's on. The Ooze. Oh my God, Dot Level's playing the Ooze. And then there's Cabal, but Cabal already has a lot of guys. Okay, Ustrahazu hasn't had any. Okay, we could go to Ustrahazu. He hasn't been raided in a while. So let's put up the raid. Okay, guys, so say hi to Ustrahazu for me, and with that, I'm going to say see you all next stream on RPG Capper. Take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.